Granny, you won't believe this, but I stopped the zombie apocalypse.
You did, huh? Well, this ought to be good.
That's right. It all started just a little over a week ago. I decided to step out of our house into the front porch to get some fresh air, and I looked across the street. And you wouldn't believe this, Granny, but there are some houses across our street, but none of them were our house. Now I'm standing there on our house porch trying to figure out where exactly our house is at, but I just couldn't find it.
Joe, did you even bother turning around?
Now don't be silly, Granny. You know good and well if I would have turned around, I would have made a complete circle, and I would have just been facing the same way I already was. No, Granny, I decided that I've been standing there all day and it was getting around evening time. I better go find some shelter. So I stepped off our house porch and began walking around trying to find a place I could stay. And I eventually came to a motel. And I paid them for a night and went to my room and just sat there.
Pray tell, Joe, where exactly did you get that money from?
Well, Granny, you remember that charity event that we went to a little over a couple of weeks ago? And how I was in charge of the refreshments? Well, every single time somebody bought something, they just give me money. So I just made a whole lot of money that night, and that's where I got the money from to pay for the motel.
Well, that explains a lot. Though I'll be honest with you, I'm actually kind of impressed.
I was getting ready to go to sleep that night, and I was laying in bed, and I kept hearing this noise. It was coming from the wall beside me. Granny, it was some kind of smacking noise. It was just like that, Granny. It was a smacking noise, just a constant. And I kept hearing this moan. And I found out that it was a woman moaning. And I was trying to figure out what exactly was going on over there. Well, I couldn't explain that smacking noise, but that moaning, Granny, that had to be a zombie. That's right, it was a zombie over there. Now I'm over here trying to figure out what the zombie's doing in the room next to me, and they eventually stopped moaning, but I gotta tell you, going to sleep that night was, it wasn't very easy because there was a zombie in the room next to me.
Oh, please, do go on, Joe.
Well, I figured I might as well try to see what's going on here, so I paid for another night, and I stay in the motel room looking out the window every once in a while, and Granny, I eventually saw this man and this woman going to the room next to mine. And there that night, there was again, there was that smacking noise, and there was some moaning, and I gotta tell you what, Granny, I knew right then and there that it was a zombie infestation. Now, I think what was going on is he was hiding zombies, and he would bring women over and release them, and they could eat on the women and turn them into zombies. That's the only thing I could figure what that smacking noise was. Well, I paid for another night, and here comes that man with another woman that very next, or he comes with another woman, okay? It's a different day, he comes with another woman. Now, I gotta tell you something here, Granny. This one here's a little bit different because that's what that smacking noise was. It was just going faster than what it normally was. And she kept saying, something my brains out. I don't know what she was saying, but she kept saying, something my brains out. Yeah, something my brains out. Now, Granny, I figured she just wanted to be a zombie. And if that's what you want to do in life is be a zombie, who am I to judge?
Oh, please, do go on, Joe.
Now, Granny, this next story is going to really break your heart. Because I paid for another night, and he brings in yet another woman. And here comes there's that smacking noise again. And all I could hear her, she was moaning, but all I could hear was saying, oh God, Granny, this woman's over here praying and begging for help. She being turned into a zombie against her will, and she's praying to God, begging for help. And Granny, it just tore me up. I knew right then and there, I had to do something. I had to put a stop to this zombie making process, Granny. Well, I'll let you know that woman's prayers are answered, but not in time for her, Granny. Because the very next day, there was a bus that came along from Camp Chromosome. Now, you know, Camp Chromosome is rated 47 out of 46.
Camp Chromosome? Never ever heard that one before.
Granny, don't worry about it. It's nothing. Well, I went up to them fellers and I told them everything that was going on. And I asked them if they could help me. And they agreed to help. And you know what was really great about this, Granny? Is they had their own zombies with them. Some of them could talk, some of them people could talk, but then they had some that could just moan and groan. So they had their own army of zombies. And I was getting prepared. I was going to fight zombies with zombies. Mr. Tom! Mr. Tom, don't you tell Caroline I was going to have my own army of zombies now. Well, we waited for this guy, and he came back with another woman, and we all jumped out surrounding him. He's asking, what's the meaning of this? And I told him I knew everything. I know exactly what you're doing. And just like an evil villain, Granny, he began to laugh. He's out here trying to tell me that he's not turning women into zombies. Well, Granny, I knew it. I knew for a fact he was turning women into zombies. And he was trying to tell me that he's not doing that, that he's doing amateur, let's see, what was that word, Granny? Amateur photography, that was it. And he even proved that he was doing amateur photography, because he even opened the room to his door, and they had some cameras around the bed, and I figured, well, I just didn't know what to think, Granny. I figured he was turning women into zombies, so I asked him, I said, you promised not to turn any more women into zombies, and he promised, Granny. He said he wouldn't do it anymore, so I guess I saved the day. And well, he went and called a taxi, and they took me home, and Granny, you wouldn't believe it. All them houses that were across the street, Granny, our house was across the street from all them houses. Just couldn't believe it.
I remember now, Camp Chromosome. We used to take you there, and you had those make-out sessions with that skinny brown-haired girl that used to hide in the closet because they always dunked her hand in the water.
Granny, I just don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, turns out that wasn't a skinny brown-haired girl. It was a mop. A mop that they used specifically for certain accidents that some of the campers made. I'll let you figure that one out.